One of the challenging things to do in post processing is to affect color. There are some color grading tools in Luminar AI that I really love, but when you really want to isolate something and change its color, nothing works better than the color tool. The problem we're going to run into is with masking, but I think that there are some opportunities here for us to kind of take some time with our masking, but then we've got a lot of opportunities for changing color. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and let's dive in. Hi, my name is William Beem. I am a photographer just like you. You can find me at williambeem.com. So let's go ahead and take a look at this image. All right, so this is going to be a studio shot, and you can see we've got a woman with a lovely red dress. I am on the color tool inside of Luminar AI, and this is as of update 4. There's a couple things that we want to look at here, and the paint mask is going to be a real concern for us because we want to be able to make sure that we're only changing the color of the dress. A couple things are working for us. One, the dress is bright red in this case. Now you may have something completely different, but as much as you can isolate the color that you want to change, the better off you are with the results you're going to get. So in this case, I've already painted a mask on her, and I did that in advance because it's a little bit tedious once you get down to some of the details. So I had to kind of paint over her fingers. Most of it was just simply dragging over her head and her skin tones on her arms. And then it really wasn't until I got down to her fingers that I kind of had to zoom in and paint the mask there. So that's in place. Basically what I did was set that up. Now, depending upon the type of subjects that you have, you might be able to use a radial mask or a gradient mask to isolate your topic. But in this case, I needed to do a mask on her. So there are a few different things in our color system that we can look at. And hue, saturation, and luminance is what we really want to look at. So we've got these changes that we can make with these 3 options. And there's also the hue shift, and that's going to come in handy for really making the changes. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a look at hue. The color that we want to work with is her red dress. So as we move the sliders from one end to the other, you can see how it's affecting the hue of the red. So it's kind of changing it. And all the way over here, it's almost like a deep orange color. So we can kind of get some changes like that, but we're limited to a range within hue. So let me reset that. Now we're going to go down to saturation, and it's going to be the same thing. We're limited to a range. So I can bring this all the way down, and we have, actually, I think that's a lovely color. It's a very muted color of the red. And you can bring that up. Now, if we bring this to the other end, I think it's going to be a little too garish and blinding, but it really does bring out the satin sheen. So there's a way that we can change some of that. Now, one of the things I want to notice about this is she's wearing red lipstick, and I've masked that out. So if you have an issue where something else is red, make sure that you either mask it out or you appreciate what the results are getting. Also keep in mind some skin tones, most are going to be in the yellow and orange range. The red didn't really affect her skin tone here. But if I looked closely on her necklace, there was some red in there, so I masked that out as well. Now, the background that we have over here is just a studio background. There's no red color in it. So if I come over here and start messing around with the blues, we're not going to see any perceptible change. So this is only affecting colors within the range that we're looking at. So for our saturation, you could really go to different details. Finally, I want to take a look at the luminance. And this is really a value from how dark is it going to get, like this, almost black, but there's kind of a really nice little tinge to it. And then we can bring this all the way up and really show things off there. So we've gone through our settings for each of these. And let me reset this to bring us back to normal. I kind of want to look at that luminance again, just so you can see it from what the dress was before. And that's a lovely deep red. So depending on what you want to do, changing these values can help out. And as you saw, they do work in concert. So if I leave the luminance here and I change the saturation to pull it down, we get a different value altogether. So you can really isolate this kind of a dress or a subject and then just change the colors. But let's take it a step further. Let's say that for my hue, I want it to be a deeper color. For my saturation, I want to bring it right back to the middle. And for my luminance, I'm going to bring it down a little bit. Now let's come down to Hue Shift. And I'm going to drag this all the way over to the left, and we're going to look at the values that we change as we're moving up. So you can see we've just taken that beautiful red dress and we've isolated it and we've changed the color. So now we've kind of got this teal color. And as we move along the bottom, there's a nice blue, and you can see we're getting different shades of blue. You can go back and change these with that red value, because remember, the dress in the photo is red. So if I come over here and shake the blue around, it's still not doing anything, even though we've changed the hue shift, because the source pixels are red. So you can work on the slider for the color that you have, but if you want to change the color, this hue shift is what's really doing the magic for you. And we can turn this dress practically any color that we want it to be. So if you want to turn this into a different fairy tale kind of color, that's how you do it. And let's take this back down to one of the blues. I'm going very slowly here because I'm working with my mouse. And so we've got this color right over here that's a little bit more cyan than blue. Let's pick this one. Now, if we come back over here to our luminance values and change this, you can tell that not only have we changed the color by isolating the red on the HSL sliders, but then by moving the HSL shift, and now we can change the color that we've come up with by moving the HSL sliders again. So we can change this dress to whatever color we want and bring it up or down, dark or light, all by working with those few sliders. So we can change our saturation. We can bring that down and kind of fade this out a little bit, or we can just really enhance it and make it shiny and silky. So I hope that helps you out. As I said, all I did here was I masked out her skin tone, her head, and the necklace. So basically everything from here all the way over here. Now up at the top of her dress there, it gets a little tight. And when you're doing your masking there, you're gonna have to zoom in, be patient, and work pretty tight in to get the mask just right. However, remember that we're only worried about the colors that get affected by the shift. So if this red didn't affect her skin tone for some reason, you could work that without having to worry about masking anything else. Obviously, none of the other ones are giving us any concerns. We can move the purple over here. We can move the magenta. So these sliders are within a range. And if the skin tone doesn't affect the range, then you're fine. I would say the skin tones are going to be affected by your red, orange, and yellow sliders. The other ones really should not be affecting a human skin tone. So keep that in mind. Have some fun with it, particularly if you're working with still lifes. You can kind of play with some colors and change them to whatever you want them to be and have a good time with it. If you like this video, please go ahead, click the like button. That tells the YouTube overlords that, hey, people like this. They should share it with more folks. It helps the channel, and I really appreciate it from you. If you're looking for software and discounts, please check the description below. If you're looking at Luminar AI, I've got a coupon code for you down there. And also there's some other post-processing software and tools that may interest you. So please take a look in the description below. It might help you save some money. And also, I would love it if you'd come and visit me over at williambeem.com. You can check out the podcast and some of the articles that we have there. See you in the next video.